Hey guys, welcome to our third video presentation on advanced spreadsheet. And in our last video tutorial, we identified how to use the custom sort as well as how to implement the sum ifs formula and the name range as well in order to gather information that will calculate total price as well as unit price. Now for this video presentation, we will be completing two aspects to begin with, the discount and then the discounted price. The discount we will be able to calculate this using the total price along with the percentage that each customer receives. So new customers receive 10% discount while the returning customers receive 5%. And this is also the use of the linking of two sheets in our spreadsheet document. So we will be linking or collecting information from the discount table as well as the customer data sheet. Now we have returned to the customer data sheet and we want to begin our formula for the discount. So it will be again the total price multiplied by the percentage. Now the first set of percentage that we will be identifying is that of the new customers, which was 10%. Now our formula begins with the equal sign and then this will be finding the open bracket, and we want to locate the cell in which the first total price can be found, and this is I3, and then we proceed with our multiplication sign. Next thing that we want to do is to identify the percentage. However, we do not have the data sheet, it is rather in the discount sheet. So once we have collected the required information from our current sheet, we will proceed to the discount sheet. If you are observant within our formula bar, we are seeing where it says discount. This is just to indicate that we are currently within the discount sheet and we have exited the customer data sheet for now. So this then will proceed with the cell in which we want to identify the percentage, and this is located in B1. So I select B1 and it automatically adds it to our current formula. The next thing that we want to do before we finalize this is to apply what we call our absolute referencing. Now, the purpose of the absolute referencing is to ensure that the data that we collected, and in this case it would be the percentage for a new customer, that it will remain fixed or constant, meaning that whenever we are making the calculations for all the new customers, then all new customers will use a 10% and the percentage will not change from the 10%. So we go about doing this by inserting the dollar sign before our B and after our B. So this is also in relation to this takes us back to our customer data sheet, and then we are now able to see the discount for all the, well, for our current new customer. We will do the quick run through, and this is by replicating or doing the custom fill, autofill, where we will fill this out for all the new customers. So again, the first area is highlighted with the green rectangle, and then a smaller box is attached we highlight or place our mouse over that area, then we can go ahead and drag it to our last new customer in the list. So all of our new customers have been accounted for in regards to the discount. So the next thing that we want to do is to follow the same pattern, but this time it is for the returning customers. So the returning customers receive 5% and not 10%, and that is the reason why we did not do the autofill for all of these. So for first returning customer, their information would begin in cell J7, and the total price is also located in I7. So again, we begin with the equal sign and its product, open bracket, and then we select I7 followed by the multiplication sign. Again, we currently don't need any additional information from this for our formula, so we can now proceed to the sheet with the discount. Select the discount. Again, we see the discount in our formula just to indicate that we are currently in the discount sheet. And then we will select the 5% for the returning customers. Again, to make sure that the percentage does not change for our returning customers, we apply the absolute addressing, and this will be inclusive of the dollar sign. So it's before the B and after the B. Once completed, our bracket is closed at the end, and then we select enter. We are back in our main sheet, and then the first returning customer discount has been calculated, so we can go ahead auto fill, and this will include the amount for the remaining returning customers. So that gives us the discount for each new and returning customers. The next thing that we want to include now is the discounted price. And the formula for the discounted price would have been the total price minus the discount that was given. So in this case, the formula again is equal, and then this time we select the cell with the first total price followed by the subtraction sign and then the discount. This automatically gives us our discounted price. The formula is the same pattern for all the other remaining customers, so we can do the autofill where we replicate the cell information. So we drag all the way down, and once we drag, it automatically changes cell numbers that are associated with each of these customers. So that wraps up how to do the linking of sheet, and I do hope so far you have been able to grasp the concept there. The next thing that we want to do is to proceed to duplicating our customer data sheet. So to the right, or to the bottom here, we right click on the main sheet, which is a customer data, right click, and then we get a pop-up box. We want to use a selection that says move or copy, and we want to move to the end. So we select the option that says create a copy and then select OK. As you can see, the copy created a customer data sheet 2, so we want to keep the name as is for now, as we will be rename it based on the information that we will be provided with. The next thing that I want to do for this area is to complete what we call a pivot table. Now, a pivot table is similar to our filter information, where we are able to get data that we outline based on specific requirements that were given. So currently I do not want, okay, so I leave this for now. So I will highlight the information again because we have a merge field, so this will give us an error if it is that we went ahead and tried to insert the pivot table. So we highlight all of the information regarding our customers, and then we select the insert tab. Now from the insert tab, we can go ahead and select the first option that says pivot table, and we receive a pop-up box just to indicate where the information is being collected from. That's the first half, and then the second half asks us where is it that we would want to place our pivot table. So we would want to select the option that says new worksheet, so it will be able to open a worksheet down here for that purpose. So we can go ahead and select OK. As you can see, the default name sheet 4, so what we could do is to try to change this first to indicate that this is where we find the pivot table. The next thing that we want to do, or before we go ahead and do that, we are able to see where our pivot table will show, which is on our left side, and then the field information that we can add to this pivot table is located on the right hand side. This pivot table, we will require our first name, last name, the customer type, quantity purchased, as well as the total price and the discounted price. Now also for this we can make some additional changes in regards to how our information will appear. We have to the bottom of this field here, we have where we can do the filter based on either columns or rows, and in this case we want to make some arrangement regarding the row. So currently we are able to see the pivot table being in a random template based on what the computer selected. However, we want to arrange it by row using the customer type as the heading. So we go ahead and we click on that, and then we move it to the beginning. So this would indicate that we will be seeing our customer based on the customer type. And if you're able to observe, our information is now showing as new customers first and then the returning customers. Also, we can change all right, so we could leave the heading that says row labels, and if it is required for us to insert a heading, we can also go ahead and apply a merge and center just to indicate that we're placing a heading in this document. So we could go ahead and select whatever rows are left above the pivot table, and we can merge that. And let's say this is summary of customers total and discounted price. And again, you can make the adjustments in regards to increasing the font size, bold, and maybe give it a little background color just for some effect purpose. And that's technically one of the easiest way to provide our pivot table based on our criteria that was given. So next thing that I want to do is to return to the customer data sheet 2, and this time we would like to include some chart information. But before we proceed to doing the chart, I would like to just include some totals, overall totals for all of these numeric fields that are located here. So we will just proceed to include, to say totals, and then from here we can do the combined totals for each of these. So I will proceed with the formula sum and then include the cells that are needed. So that one was for unit, this one is for total price. Highlight my cells, next door discount, cells highlighted, and then the final discounted price. Okay, so that is some set of information that we can work with in order to complete our charts. So the next thing that I want to do is to use all of these overall totals to provide a chart. So I will highlight firstly the monetary for this, and then I will proceed to the insert tab. Okay, so that was removed. Let me redo, highlight, and then the insert tab, and this time I want to use the recommended charts. Pop-up box appears, it has recommended an all charts. I want to locate the all charts, and then I want to include a column chart. So the column chart is currently selected, and we can use any of the template that is there. So I will go ahead and use the fourth template and then proceed to OK. Now this places our column chart within our current sheet. We can have the option to move it to a sheet by itself, but before we do that, I am currently not seeing the headings in regards to what each of these information are showing. So how is it that we can make the adjustment to this? So I want the headings unit price, total price, discount, as well as discount price appearing on this chart. So the next thing that I would like to do is to ensure that I am on at the top somewhere above our screen here. It should show chart tools, and then we are in the design section. The next thing that we want to do is to So locate the area that says data and then select data. From here, we are able to see the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4. However, we don't want to see that information there. So we would like to make some edits in that and then locate the headings that we would want. So currently we receive another pop-up box, and what this is asking us for is just to identify the cells in which we have the headings. But for quick access, we will just go ahead and highlight the headings that we need, and then from there it includes it in this range, label range here, and then we will proceed to say okay. If you are observant, the 1, 2, 3, 4 were changed to the actual names that we would like to see on our chart, and also on the chart the names are actually showing there as well. The next thing that I have as a default is a series 1, and it should be showing totals. So again, I will go ahead and select edit on this side, and then I would like to locate where I had the heading called totals. So I'm trying to move up some things here on my screen, or we could enter the name. So this one should say, you can see the totals heading is also there, and then we select OK. So that's a quick way just to include our information if it is that we forgot to include them when we were doing the monetary aspect. Next thing that I want to do is to move the chart to a sheet by itself. So again, ensure that we are in the chart tools area, and again, this is not visible on our screen, but it is there. And then design, and then to our far right under the heading type, we select the not type, location, sorry, we select the option that says move chart. Once we select that, we want to move it to a new sheet, and we could also give the sheet a name. So let's say this is a column chart, and from there we will select OK. This removed the chart from the customer data tool to column chart, as we called it. Now we can also make some additional changes in regards to our legend, how our values show, as well as the title that is provided on the chart. In order to do this, again, ensure that chart tools is highlighted at the top center, and then design, and then to our very left of the screen we have a section called add chart element. For the add chart element, the first thing that we probably want to do is to make adjustment to the legend, and currently our legend is at the bottom of our screen, but we want to move it to the all right, so we did not have a legend to begin with. So what we can do is to implement one in regards to the location where we would want to show it. And this can be identified on the right, top, left, bottom, etc. The next thing that we would like is to have our data labels, and then this can tell how the numbers show exactly. If it is exact number we want to show, then that can be added to the chart. So I'll select the one that says data callout just to show the exact amount for each of these. Another thing that we could add is the all right, so data labels, data. So we could also have a data table with the legend, and at the bottom there it also could indicate the numbers, but we already have those, so we can bypass those for now. And the next thing is the chart title. It can also indicate where is it that we want our chart title to show above the chart, center, overlay, as well as additional option. Normally it is more feasible and visible at the top of the chart. So currently the heading is totals, and what we could change it to is to indicate what type of chart and then the actual totals that are showing. So this is a column chart showing unit price, total price, discount, and discounted price totals. that's basically our chart information, and this was for the column chart. We can proceed to include a second chart, maybe a pie chart, and then this will be collected again from the data sheet. This time we will use the previous information that we had for unit price for NC and RC. So what this chart will do is to give a comparison between the two overall unit price for each customer category, that is not new customer and returning. So we highlight the information that we need, we go to the insert tab, and we select either recommended charts, or if you know the actual look up the chart, then you could go ahead and select the pie chart. Again, it's up to you which of the pie chart selection you want to use, and then from there the pie chart will be in the default area, which is on the current sheet that the values were taken. We can move this information or move this chart to a sheet by itself. So again, chart tool selected, and then design, and then to the right, move chart. This will move it to a new sheet, and we can rename the sheet to say pie chart, and then OK. This automatically brings us to a sheet by itself. Now for the pie chart, again, we can add information such as the values, data labels, etc. So we click on the option that says add chart title, and we can include the data labels. So it can be center, inside, end, outside, best fit, data call out, among other areas. But for this example, we'll use the center as the selected data label. Next thing, the legend. Our legend is currently at the bottom. We could move it to the top, to the left, or to the right. So for this, we will keep it at the right again. And then the chart title, we can also make adjustments to that. So chart title, we'll keep it above chart or center. So we can use a center overlay this time, and then we can go ahead and change the chart. So this is a pie chart showing total unit price for NC versus RC, and then this tells us that this is showing the comparison NC as well as the RC customers. So again, that is an easy way to complete our pie chart information as well as other charting information. I'm returning to my customer data sheet 2, and for this example, I want to do an advanced filtering, and there are two ways that we can do the filtering. We can do the regular filter with the drop box that will appear, as well as to select the exact field information that we would like to show. Now the first one that I'm using is so I'm gonna make a copy of this just to show you exactly how it will be displayed. So I'm copying the information from the top here, copy, and then I'm moving a little bit down to the sheet and then paste the information there just for clarity. So I'm in cell 30 and I'm pasting. Now from here, the first thing that I want to do is to collect the headings and then copy these again. So I'm copying the headings and then place it somewhere else in the document. Thing that I would like to do is to identify the headings that I will be focusing on for the filter. Now, let's say we wanted the customers whose code is NC, right? And then automatically we know the rest of information will show. So it's NC customers, and then the quantity purchase is maybe less than 12, right? So less than 12. So let's see if this one works out. So we can go ahead now to highlight the original information that we just pasted, and then we proceed to the data tab, and then from here we're under the sort and filter option, and then it's advanced. Once that is filter the list in place. Okay, and then the list range, it is already highlighted there, so they're now asking for the criteria. So criteria would be which information it is that we are looking for in order to provide you with a result at the end of it, and this would be the information that is here. So I will click in this, and then I'm highlighting the headings as well as the row that contains the information that I need. Next thing, I'm gonna select OK. Let's pray this one works. So it did work, but I selected the area that says do it in place. So it was done in place. I just realizing that I didn't change it to say new location. So the filter was done, and in fact it gave us all of the new customers as well as the quantity purchase, which was less than 12. So that information is correct. Way that we can do the filter, advanced filter. Second way that we can do, so I'm returning back to the very top, and then again I'm highlighting the information that will be used in the filter, and then I'm also going to proceed to select the option that says filter. We are still under the data tab, and then I'm selecting filter. When we select the direct filter, what it does is to add the filter tabs to each of the field names, and then from there we can specify how our filter will proceed. So let's say we want the customer type for this one to be RC, so we select the arrow beside the customer type, and then we select the option that says text filter. We're finding equals, and then this would be equal to returning customer. Select OK. So that's the first part completed, and as you can see, we're no longer seeing the new customers. The next thing, probably we would want the customers, let's say items purchased were formal dress. So again, we select the heading or the field, and then the tab. This time it's text filters, and this is equals to formal dress. Select OK, and again we are now narrowed to the formal dress, and the information is presented there. We could also do it further to say the discount price was greater than, let's say, 45,600, right? So for this, we select the discounted price, the arrow, and it's number filters that show up this time because the discount price is not numeric value and not text based. So number filters, and then we're looking for greater than. So greater than, and then we're identifying it was 45 greater than this, so we select and then press OK, and as you can see, only one customer is now showing in our list. This is technically two ways that we can go ahead to do our filter in order to gather specific information based on criteria that we included in our function or in our requirements. Thank you so very much for watching, and please stay tuned for other video tutorials to come.